Welcome back to Historical Veracity, where we slice through the sticky sweetness of history and today's society with the precision of a hot knife through butter. In this episode, we're diving into an allegory as rich and viscous as honey itself, the Western honey trap. Imagine ancient hunters setting traps not with spikes or snares, but with something far more seductive. Honey. The prey, lured by the irresistible aroma, indulges in the sweetness, unaware of its fate. Even as it becomes ensnared, it revels in the abundance, scoffing at those on the outside struggling for mere scraps. This tale isn't just about ancient hunting practices, it's a metaphor for our lives in modern Western society, surrounded by endless entertainment and pleasures that ultimately sap our independence, making decisions for us, understanding for us, and even thinking for us. But don't worry, folks, modern techniques will make you feel like your soul isn't entirely vacated. We find ourselves struggling against this massive, modern-day honey trap, seeking intellectual independence amidst a deluge of information and options. Humanity started as individuals and small collectives, but over time we've melded into societies that dictate our actions, not for individual benefit, but for the collective good. The glue of ancient societies was fear of myths, divine wrath, or the king's might. Today, our society's glue is sweeter, convincing us of the righteousness of its principles without the need for mythological scare tactics or the threat of execution. Convincing millions that it's in their best interest to adhere to these principles is no small feat. Despite revolutions founded on distrust of the system and ongoing rebellions outside the Western world, our societal adhesive is knowledge. Infinite knowledge bows before us, proving at every turn how accessible and all-knowing it is. This is the great honey trap of our time, making life sweeter, offering amazing technologies, and making every point on the globe accessible with a click. Yet it's much easier to deny traditional adhesives, fear, myth. Even if externally compliant, internally a person remains free, knowing that threats of punishment don't alter their essence. Information and content, however, seep deep into the soul, making us truly believe in the system's truth and righteousness. So, who can deny this modern glue? Who can argue that Western society is fundamentally flawed, that its norms harm us, and that we'd be happier living differently? Our mission is to sift through the sea of words and information, to reveal the models on which information systems are built, and to expose their weaknesses. Escaping the honey trap is a psychological process, akin to weaning off addiction or dependency. We'll examine small, illustrative examples to understand how the system works. Humanity is a large individual, and many of our life choices aren't rational but driven by aspirations to fit into a certain atmosphere. Logical arguments often fall short. The political game isn't about rational data use, but psychological play, where advertising agencies and emotional appeals dictate our most significant decisions. All of this plays out in a vast honey screen where democracy, fairness, and open discussion seemingly prevail. Yet society's decisions are often based on the taste of honey, not rationality. We know today that cigarettes are harmful, but for decades tobacco companies wielded enormous influence, preventing the public from learning the objective truth. Misleading scientific studies claimed cigarettes were healthy or minimally harmful, creating a false narrative supported by lawyers and academics at the highest levels. Even now, legal and scientific battles waged by these companies, as highlighted by Dr. Amichai Barcela and other freedom fighters, show how interests can manipulate our lives, allowing others to think for us. Michael Shermer of Scientific American points out that as evidence mounted that cigarettes cause lung cancer, tobacco companies marketed doubt as their product, competing against the body of evidence ingrained in public opinion. This strategy isn't unique to the tobacco industry. It's a playbook for public relations across various sectors. The documentary filmmaker Robert Kenner encountered this tactic while producing Food, Inc. and Merchants of Doubt, uncovering Orwellian organizations like the Center for Consumer Freedom, funded by profit-motivated industries, masquerading as neutral think tanks aiming to reveal scientific truths. In closing, even skeptics like Shermer, who question various truths, must acknowledge the traps set by industry's shifting strategies as public awareness grows. But within the honey trap of data overload, it's always possible to blur the lines between presenting truth and merely sowing doubt. So, dear viewers, As we navigate this sweet, sticky web of societal glue, let's arm ourselves with the knowledge and critical thinking needed to spot the traps, and maybe, just maybe, find a way to escape the honey trap together. Stay sharp, stay witty, and most importantly, stay voracious. Until next time, this is Historical Veracity signing off.